With the announcement of Tenkaichi 4, I sat down and decided to play all of the original Budokai games again, with the goal to see if any of them still hold up. Combat in the Budokai series plays similar enough throughout, with the latter games making improvements upon the foundation set. You've got a punch button, you've got a kick button, a guard button, a key blast button, you can charge an attack by holding punch and kick together. You can initiate a grab by pressing guard and punch together. You can also charge ki in this game, which is something I'm not even sure I knew how to do when I played through this game as a child. That's because you have to hold the guard button and press the direction opposite to your character twice, and that information doesn't appear to be on the controls page or in any sort of tutorial that I could find. Charging ki is done the same way in both Budokai 2 and 3, but they do actually have a training mode that takes you through how to do so. Budokai 1 is also the only game in the series where beyond a regular ki blast, you can't use an energy projectile outside of a combo. The standard combo for a Kamehameha-like blast is 4 punches followed by the ki blast button. Weirdly enough, despite being a basic combo string, most of the time it's not a true combo. In fact, there are seemingly a lot of combo strings that can just be blocked out of. Because of that, you'll have to be a little creative to make some combo strings as well as certain skills land more often than not. That is easier said than done, as we don't really have access to a menu that displays our full range of combo strings. We do have one that shows us all the strings that lead to a skill usage, but that's it. Every Budokai game has a story mode, a world tournament mode, and character customization. Starting with the story mode, Budokai 1's is relatively straightforward. You play the events starting from the beginning of Dragonball Z to the end of the Cell Saga. There's also this mini-game at the near beginning where you have to line up Raditz with the special beam cannon, and we don't see anything at all like this throughout the rest of the game, or any of the other games for that matter. Once you beat the story mode, you get access to a few different battles that were omitted, as well as other fun additions. Like, what if Cell absorbed Krillin and became significantly weaker? The answer is that he can still beat Yamcha. The World Tournament mode is our primary way of earning currency in this game. Scratch that, it's our only way in Budokai 1. The combat in this mode can be a bit trickier, as there are bounds that both you and the opponent can be knocked outside of that results in an instant loss. The World Tournament is split into 3 different divisions, Novice, Adept, and Advanced, only we don't have access to all of these initially. We have to have enough characters unlocked to fill the tournament roster first and foremost. After that, we have to beat the most up-to-date difficulty and then buy the recommended capsule from the capsule shop, which is where we're going to be spending all of the currency we're earning from the World Tournament anyway. There are a fair sum of capsules earned through the story mode, but the bulk of them are bought here. Most are used to customize your characters through moves, transformations, and passive buffs. You don't have to play with that system if you don't want to, though. You can select a normal version of a character as well as the custom version you put together. After you've beaten the Adept mode of the tournament and unlocked Hercule as well as the vast majority of the cast, you'll be able to purchase the Legend of Hercule capsule from the shop, which is a game mode where you'll get to fight every participant of the Cell games as the man who definitely defeated Cell himself. You're given special conditions for each of these battles. Beat this guy fast enough so you can get to the bathroom in time. Beat these two while keeping the damage you suffered from the last fight. Beat this guy who has a fair bit more defense than the others. They're not the most creative special conditions, but hearing Hercule or Mr. Satan's dialogue before each fight is definitely the best part of this mode anyway.
You two sick bald turkeys! I'll deal with you both at once! Jeez, he's got 3 eyes. What shape are his glasses?
Playing through these fights also highlighted an issue I hadn't noticed until this point, because you don't fight Cell Jr. as anyone else aside from Gohan. Unless you're playing as Short Boy yourself, or your attacks are just naturally lower to the ground, you're going to whiff just about every other attack right over their tiny little heads. I intended to beat the Legend of Hercule while I was recording, but gave up after having gotten to this fight and losing to it a second time. Oh yes, and if you lose any fight during the Legend of Hercule, then it's all over and you'll have to start from the beginning. As far as I know, you don't unlock anything from beating it though, so at the end of the day it's not too big a deal. It was just a for fun game mode. In the story mode though, whenever you'd lose a fight, you'd get the option to quit out of the battle or try again with no loading screens in between. Which is fantastic, because I would have been irritated after the 20-something times it took me to beat Cell if I had to wait through a loading screen each and every time. Seriously though, this last fight is ridiculous. That's almost it for Budokai 1. The last thing I want to talk about is just how crisp the menus are in this game. Every one of your selections in the main menu is tied to a specific Dragon Ball. You only have 6 to start, which is a hint in itself. The 7th option, being the Legend of Hercule, completes your set of Dragon Balls when you unlock it. Then you go into the character select and you get all these super stylized icons. It may just be my favorite character select in any Dragon Ball game. Then you go to select a stage and hover over just about any of them, and you get these cool 3D models that pop right out of the picture that tell you just a little bit about said stage. And in true Liar fashion, there is one more thing I want to talk about that I forgot while I was recording. This game features some really slick alternate costumes. Look at all these jackets. Look at Genyu Goku. Now that's everything. Do I think Budokai 1 still holds up? The combo system is subpar, there's a general lack of guidance, shorties have broken hitboxes, and the list goes on. While the game has drip, the gameplay itself is just lacking. So no, I don't think Budokai 1 holds up. But there is another,